Welcome to the GCN Tech Clinic, where Alex and I aim to answer your bike, tech and maintenance related questions. As ever, you can submit your questions down in the comments section below using the hashtag askgcntech, and we'll do our best to answer as many as possible within
the allotted time. Right, first question is from @lakes_GT. They say, hi GCN Tech, I have a 2008 Canyon Aero CF SLX with around 22,000 miles on the clock, primarily in the Lake District. The frame seems to be holding up well, no signs of any fatigue cracks, but should I have the frame inspected/scanned to check for defects or cracks beneath the surface? What inspection and maintenance regime do you recommend?
I think if the bike hasn't been crashed and the bike looks fine and doesn't have like any exterior sort of damage to it in terms of, you know, paint crack or, you know, any chips or anything like that, and it's fine when you ride it, I would say it's okay.
Complete agreement there, unless you have a reason to feel like it's been damaged or potentially weakened in areas. Assume all is going to be fine. I've got a really old pre-2000s carbon fibre bike at home. Good to go, rock and roll, enjoy it. Only do you need to get it checked if something's had a bit of an impact or a crash.
Yeah.
Damien
Robertson 349 says, I live in Canada and I plan on riding as deeply into fall. I think he means autumn or printemps in French. Once snow starts falling and the temperatures drop below 0 degrees C, I'll quit the outdoor rides.
Okay.
Whew. Do I need to change tyres for the colder weather? Are the tyres I use in 30 degrees C okay for 3 degrees C? With cars, we switch onto winter tyres when temperatures get below -7. Summer tyre compounds get hard, lose grip, and I use Conti GP5000.
I feel like they've half answered their own question here. So take the logic of what's happening with your car tyres and apply it onto a bike tyre. The difference is reduced less. Yes, summer tyres are okay to use in winter, but if you want to have the best performance, you need to use a tyre that's got a rubber compound optimised to work best in those cooler conditions.
Yeah, so like in the case of Pirelli, they have their 4-season tyre.
Yeah.
So the normal like P0 like race and the P0 SL and SR and all that, their compound is for a slightly higher ambient temperature range, whereas the 4S is designed to operate a bit lower. Not really below freezing though, because on skinny tyres, road cyclists aren't going out below freezing. Really, it's not worth it. Like, don't dice with the ice. I think if you want to continue riding when it's lower temperature, like gravel, cross.
Yeah, okay.
Head off wider road. Tyres. Yeah,
head off road. Right, next question is from @lux-wattage. They say, this might be one for a full GCN Tech video, but are bone-conducting headphones a good option for cycling? Are they safe? Do they provide decent sound quality while on the road? Would love to hear your thoughts. I put this in because I know in the past you've got some experience with something like this.
Yeah. Right, a bugbear of mine is riding with headphones. I really don't like people doing it.
Okay.
I think it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I think when people do the thing where they have one headphone in and one, I understand why people do it because they're out on a long training ride, maybe by themselves, and they want a podcast on or something. I get that. But it does really sensory deprive you, and you don't want to deprive yourself of hearing because you hear cars and stuff coming up behind you.
I think it's really crucial.
Yeah, but I have got bone-conducting headphones and I have used them while riding, and you still are able to hear cars and things. My assessment is the audio quality is not as good as like a really good pair of
in-ear or over-ear.
Yeah, nowhere near as good, but it's decent. And if you want to have like a podcast on or something, perfectly fine. I think they're quite good for cycling.
Yeah, okay. I actually spoke to Tom Southern, DS at EF Education Team, about headphones a while back, and he was like, what is with modern pro riders? He was like, some of them try and turn up to a training camp ride with headphones in. He was like, if I see them, I tell them, take headphones out and get on with the bike ride and speak to your teammates.
I'd never wear them on a group ride.
Why would you do that?
No, never.
Inconsiderate.
Solo riding.
Ben Connor, 4848 next, he says, hi guys, is it possible to use the new SRAM RED XPLR AXS rear derailleur in a 2x setup? SRAM say no, but is that just lawyers being overly cautious or is there a real reason? Well, the reason will be because they've designed the system to be run one by. You have a quick drink. However, like anything, it can be set up to work in a way which it wasn't originally intended and manufactured to. But you're going to do things like invalidate your warranty. It's not going to work as well. My gut is telling me, whilst I don't know this for fact, if you used a smaller ratio cassette on a system designed for one by, the rear derailleur should be able to compensate for the 2x chain rings, but I don't really want to advise or condone that. There you go.
Cool.
Stephen
Holden next says, I have a specialised alley rim brake with some upgrades. Full 105 group set, Mavic Axiom wheels, nice. And Continental GP5000 28mm tyres, very good. And he recently had an ID match bike fit. Cool. Now, I'm considering saving for a carbon wheel set. Should I save up a bit longer and purchase a newer bike with carbon wheels? Thank you for your great content and advice. I think you should just, if you want some like carbon wheels, go for it. That's a cool bike. It's a good setup.
That is, I think it's easy for people to gravitate towards the assumption of buying a new bike because you see other people with a new bike and you think newer is better. But that isn't always the answer, right? That is a perfectly good bike that you can achieve and do lots of different bike rides.
And you've had a fit on it.
Yeah.
Like you've invested not just the parts, you've invested your sort of self into that. I think it's like, some like nice carbon wheels will make it look mint, which is the most important thing. But it will make it a bit faster.
Neither option is a bad one. Take the option which means you're most likely to ride your bike more and enjoy it the most. And I think either way, you're going to be happy.
Yeah.
Okay, Riley Moore, 5090 next. After watching a few of your videos on TPU tubes, I purchased some. With the instructions, it says, do not use compressed air to inflate. Are they being overcautious? I'd like to carry a spare TPU on my bike, but only carry CO2s in my pocket. No hand pump. Any experience inflating TPU tubes with CO2 canisters? Yes, I think I have, and I've had no problem at all, but I can see the understanding and logic behind not advising.
Is it cold?
I think it's because when that material gets freezing cold, it becomes very brittle, and you could run the risk of the tube, well, not quite exploding, but damaging and puncturing.
Yeah.
Hand pumps are best. Like, similar to what we've said with this SRAM rear derailleur, there's a reason manufacturers advise things, and that's normally for it to work best or for safety. So you tend to take their advice.
Yeah, and I would say, get a hand pump.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, CO2 canister is good as a quick solution, but
a hand pump never runs out.
Yeah, it runs out once you've used it. Yeah.
And better for the environment.
Yeah.
Better
for your wallet.
I carry CO2 with me if I need to get out in a quick fix, but I also carry a pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
MGGW says, I find when riding in the aero hoods position, my triceps and traps quickly fatigue. How can I improve my endurance in that position? Do it more.
Easy solution.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's the same solution to many fitness-related questions. Practice.
Yeah.
Right, our last question for this week is from KMNNG10. Question for Ollie. I won't answer this one. Can I use a wax chain, brackets in a triathlon? Oh, it's because they know you love triathlon. When I have to check the bike in the day before the race. When it's raining on race day and night, I'm not allowed to cover the bike up. I've heard some people have problems in this scenario with wax chains. What would you do in this solution? As I know you normally run wax chains, as I do.
That is a conundrum.
Yeah.
Good question. I rate it, and it's good to see that you're really thinking about these sort of performance aspects because solving these problems is important. I would say check the forecast and see what it's going to do, and I'd probably have two chains. Yeah. And if it is going to be tipping it down all over your bike, that might reduce the drivetrain efficiency of that and wash it off. I
think they were saying about if they've got to leave their bike overnight. Do you think the rain could impact?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it could.
Yeah.
Not as much as if it was actually being ridden in the rain, but using the endurance wax sort of stuff is probably going to stay on better.
Yeah.
But I would probably in that situation go to the race with two chains, and I like having multiple chains that I rotate anyway. And just have one chain that is with a good drip on wet lube, because you're not going to lose much. But then there's a good chance that if it's raining all day, the roads are going to be wet, which is going to pick up water and fly it into your drivetrain anyway. and it might rain during the event as well. Like, I would just go, in that situation, a good wet lube chain, take your other chain off, but then by having the option, if the forecast changes, you can just put on your other chain.
I like it. Also, imagine turning up on race day and being like, oh, my chain's rusty. That would be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Right, that was it for this week's GCN Tech Clinic. I say it every week. Sorry if we didn't answer your questions, but be persistent and put them in the comments down below and we'll pick them out in the coming weeks. Right, we're out of here. See you, bye.
Love you, bye.